pioneer stock. The fact of the matter is, what saps anyone's self-reliance is working 60 hours at straight time or working at 85 or 95. We are behind every country pretty nearly in Europe in this matter of medical care for our citizens.
We remain the only major country on earth that does not guarantee all of our people health care as a right.
People are now saying, Jorge, that maybe it is time to go beyond establishment politics and establishment economics. Maybe it's time for a political revolution to take on the billionaire class and create an economy that works for all of us. And as we look out at our country today, what the American people understand is we have an economy that's rigged, that ordinary Americans are working longer hours for lower wages, 47 million people living in poverty, and almost all of the new income and wealth going to the top 1%. And who is satisfied? We are fighting to maintain our democracy and prevent our government from being owned by a handful of billionaires and the politicians they employ.
We're saying aloud that capitalism and democratic socialism, that not so scary word, can and should coexist.
The reason is evident. These men, the big bosses of the political field, the beneficiaries of privilege in the field of industry, the men who represent that sinister alliance between crooked politics and crooked business, which has done more than anything else for the corruption of American life, are united as one man against the genuine rule of the people themselves.
United, there is little we cannot do in a host of cooperative ventures. Divided, there is little we can do. For we dare not meet a powerful challenge at odds and split asunder. All those who face this challenge of educating our children, finding work for our older people, finding security for those who have retired, all who are committed to this great effort of moving this country forward, come and give us your help.
Not going to go where we have to go so long as a handful of billionaires are capable of purchasing the United States government.
Because the business of government is the business of the people, and the people are right here. For the great enemy of the truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. Too often we hold fast to the cliches of our forebears. We subject all facts to a prefabricated set of interpretations. We enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought.
Because what goes on in this country, primarily through the television and through the media, is that over and over again, all that the President of the United States has to say.
Day 4 of the Bush team's full court press, giving speech after speech after speech, and issuing reports.
The United States knows that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. Any country on the face of the earth with an active intelligence program knows that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction.
There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction. There is no doubt that he is amassing them to use against our friends, against our allies, and against us.
And if you say it over 100 times, it now becomes truthful. And then suddenly you see the professional politicians getting less and less bold in saying that maybe the president is wrong. Because, you know, appealing to people's hatred and their anger and their desire for revenge is very good politics. The truth of the matter is, it has always worked.
For too long, my country, the wealthiest nation in a continent which is not wealthy, failed to carry out its full responsibility. They must lead the fight for those basic reforms which alone can preserve the fabric of their societies. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
Naturally, they will do all they can to break down the only real enemies that they have, and the only real champion efficient champions of popular rights and of economic, social, and industrial justice.
No man can be a good citizen unless he has a wage more than sufficient to cover the bare cost of living, and hours of labor short enough so after his day's work is done, he will have time and energy to bear his share in the management of the community, to help in carrying the general load. We keep countless men from being good citizens by the conditions of life by which we surround them.
If you want to get tough on crime, let's deal with the causes of crime. Let's demand that every man, woman, and child in this country have a decent opportunity and a decent standard of living.
The present condition of living cannot be accepted as satisfactory. There are too many who do not prosper enough, and of the few who prosper greatly, there are certainly some whose prosperity does not mean welfare for the country. Rational progressives, no matter how radical, are well aware that nothing the government can do will make some men prosper, and we heartily approve the prosperity, no matter how great, of any man if it comes because of his rendering service to the community. Our aim is to control business, not to strangle it. Our aim is to promote prosperity and then to see that prosperity is passed around.
At many stages in the advance of humanity, this conflict between the men who possess more than they have earned and the men who have earned more than they possess is the central condition of progress. In our day, it appears as the struggle of freemen to gain and hold the right of self-government as against the special interests, who twist the methods of free government into machinery for defeating the popular will.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too.
With all the brilliance and all the fine technology and all the robots and the great medical research that they do up there in the hospital and all the other hospitals, civilization hasn't advanced one bloody iota for the last thousands of years. All that these people can do is still say to each other, we're strong, you're weak, you do it our way, or we're going to kill you.
Our problems are man-made, therefore they can be solved by man, and man can be as big as he wants. No problem of human destiny is beyond human beings. Man's reason and spirit have often solved the seemingly unsolvable, and we believe they can do it again.
The problems we face did not come down from the heavens. They are made by bad human decisions. And good human decisions can change.
Political parties exist to secure responsible government and to execute the will of the people. From these great tasks, both of the old parties have turned aside. Instead of instruments to promote the general welfare, they have become the tools of corrupt interests which use them impartially to serve their selfish purposes. Behind the ostensible government sits enthroned an invisible government, owing no allegiance and acknowledging no responsibility to the people. To destroy this invisible government, to dissolve the unholy alliance between corrupt business and corrupt politics, is the first task of the statesmanship of the day.
It feels like we're in a moment with many crises that we need to address right now. It feels like a moment where we need to be making bold plans and figuring out how we're going to achieve them.
Cooperation between an alert and progressive citizenry and a progressive government is what has made this country great.
When we stand together and demand that this country works for all of us rather than the few, we will transform America, and with your help,